We are here today with Charlie McCoy, and we're here at a tribute for Jimmy Capps, the session musician. So we're going to come over here and ask Charlie some of his memories about Jimmy Capps, and then a little bit about some of the stuff that he has done in the past. So we're going to get started here. As always, subscribe, share the video. Hope you enjoy it. And once again, it's you doing that we're able to bring you these great legends that have made history. So first question I want to ask you, Mr. McCoy, is what kind of sessions or what sessions did you play with Jimmy Capps in the studio? You remember?
I'm sorry, you're going to have to speak up.
Okay. What sessions did you play with Jimmy Capps in the studio?
How many do we?
Pick one or two that you went ahead and you did with him.
He played on He's Still Loving Her Today, George Jones. He played on my new album, which is a bluegrass album. I mean, there's too many to remember. You know, I've been doing this 64 years, and he's probably done it that long too.
Yeah, it seems to me like he's been on everything that you could possibly be on. I mean, no matter what it was. What kind of got you started in playing the harmonica?
I was 8 years old. I saw an ad in a comic book. You can play harmonica in 7 days or your money back. Send 50 cents in a box top. Wow. So I conned my mother out of 50 cents. That was money back in those days. And harmonica finally came, and after a day she said, "Could you take it outside?" And that's when I learned that dogs and cats didn't like it.
Wow. And so you have been playing the harmonica that long. When you did your first session in the studio, you remember what year that was and what session?
61.
61.
May of 61.
Okay.
Recorded with an unknown female singer from Sweden named Ann-Margret.
Wow.
20-year-old Ann-Margret.
Wow. Well, that leads me to the next question. I know that you played on several of Elvis Presley's albums. How were you approached to play on them albums by Elvis Presley? Did Colonel Parker approach you, Elvis approach you, or the studio? How did that come about?
Well, the first project I worked with Elvis was the movie background music for the movie called Harem Scarum.
Okay.
And the reason I got on was that the movie company changed the dates of the recording, and all the guys who worked with him regular were already booked. So Scotty Moore hired a whole new band, and you know, there was 3 Hall of Famers in the band, by the way, Pig Robbins, Grady Martin, you know, and we did the soundtrack. Well, the next album was called Frankie and Johnny, and they decided to include me as a utility man because I play a lot of instruments, you know. Right. And in that movie, I got to play harmonica on a big feature, a song where he comes off of this riverboat and he's singing the blues, and there's a picture of a little kid with a harmonica. Well, that was me playing on the movie.
Wow. As far as regular studio albums, which was the first one that you played on for Elvis Presley? Or a compilation album, if you can recall what that might have been.
You talking about an album of mine or an album of somebody else's?
One of Elvis's albums.
With Elvis?
Yeah, that was not a soundtrack, but just like a regular studio.
Well, he did, one summer he did a Christmas album here, and he did another gospel album here. And then in 1970, he did what was known as the marathon sessions. Like he booked RCA Studio for about a week and a half doing what he wanted to do. And he was having a great time because, you know, I think he didn't totally care for a lot of the movie music. But there was Colonel Tom and publishing and all that played into the decisions, I think.
What made, in your opinion, Elvis Presley different from maybe some of the other recording artists that you had worked with? I mean, in your opinion.
Well, by that time I'd worked with so many. This is a guy who couldn't walk out on the streets back in those days. 65 was my first session with Elvis. But the studio was his safe place. He was surrounded by people he respected, people he liked, and doing what he loved to do was make music. And he was totally relaxed. He would laugh and cut up, It was great. It was just, I didn't know how it was going to be, but I was really surprised and happy that it was that way.
Did you play on any of the spiritual gospel albums?
I played on a lot of gospel albums. Yeah. You mean of Elvis?
Yes, of Elvis.
Yeah, I played on the second gospel album he did. It was done at RCA, of course. But I don't remember if the Spears were singing on that or not. I don't know. I don't remember.
I know a lot of people that worked with Elvis said that he had this spiritual side about him, that whenever he started to sing the gospel songs, that was his favorite type of music that he did. I mean, above rock and roll. Did you find that to be the case when you were around them?
Yeah, and the Jordanaires, they were so busy doing studio work that they were not going to quit that and go on the road, because they had so many regular accounts here in town. And when I first saw the Jordanaires, I couldn't believe they were in the studio. I said, "Don't those guys work for Elvis?" No, not really. I mean, they've been on his records, but it's not a done deal, And they didn't want to do it because they were the top vocal group in town then.
What was the last album that you played on of Elvis Presley?
It was one of those that came out of the marathon sessions. I think 3 or 4 albums came out of those sessions, and I swear I don't remember the order of them. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Elvis album that you played on?
I don't know. I liked Kissin' Cousins and Spin Out. I like that one.
Right.
There's the movie stuff just kind of runs together.
Right.
Oh, and of course I wasn't on Viva Las Vegas, but I love that soundtrack. That was great.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you had said earlier that one of your first sessions was Ann-Margret. As soon as you said that, it's like, yes, because Elvis had that chemistry with her and was in that movie with Viva Las Vegas with her. How was it working with her?
She was amazing. 20 years old. And her English was very good already. She's from Sweden. Mm-hmm. And she was so happy to be in a studio and to be there with good musicians. She was thrilled, and it was a great experience.
Right. And I reckon the last 2 questions I want to ask you were, with Jimmy Capps, I know it's been a number of years since he passed away. Do you remember the last time that you spoke with Jimmy Capps prior to him passing, and maybe, what he said to you speaking musically, whether that was to work on a project or just anything in general that you'd like to
No, I
say?
don't, but I know I loaned him a flamenco guitar once, and my wife and I live in Florida in the winter.
Right.
And I said, "Jimmy, just keep this at your house till we get back," And he did. He needed a gut string guitar to play on, I guess maybe something Western or something. And so I said, "I've got a great guitar. Harold Bradley bought it for me in Spain." And so he played at that, and then I told him, "Keep it at your house till next spring, and I'll get it back from you."
Wow. Well, everybody, we appreciate Charlie McCoy's time today. And like I said, we were here at the tribute for Jimmy Capps, and he's been nice to sit here and give some of his memories about Jimmy and some memories about Elvis and other sessions that he's been in. Once again, when you see Charlie McCoy out there performing live or on the Opry, please go see him, hear him, because you're looking at a legendary artist that has been around forever. He's played on everything you could imagine, every type of session. And still to this day, he is still active at the Grand Ole Opry, playing weekly. And that is a rarity to see that. So please do that and subscribe to our channel. And thank you so much, Mr. McCoy, for your time today. God bless you, and we
Thank you.
appreciate that.